Today, for the last couple of days, Abba has been speaking into my spirit. He gave me a command. Yes, for a very, very special person. Yes, you, okay? You, okay? He knows you very well. He knows you very well, and he tells me how great you're doing in the spirit, okay? Because he told me, one-on-one conversation, that I need to definitely make this video specifically for you. Because today's video, we're going to be talking about finding out your true purpose in serving God, all right? Finding out your true purpose in serving God, in serving Abba, in serving Yahuwah, okay? Because this is where you get fulfillment. This is where I get fulfillment. This is why I do this every single day. When I have the time, well, not every day with the videos, but you know what I mean. This is why I still do these videos. I get joy out of them, okay? I live for these videos because this is truly serving God. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women of God, chosen, pre-selected, predestined men and women of God, anointed men and women of God. Jeremiah 1:5, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. I am one of them. You are definitely one of them as well. I know in a world full of 9 billion people, or however many people are on this earth, okay? You think to yourself, how can God choose me out of the very other many people that are way more qualified than I am? Right there, that's qualifier number one. Because you know how many people are on this planet that feel like they deserve a position in the kingdom of heaven in terms of serving and a higher status, okay? Me. It took God about genuinely 15 to 20 years in terms of a slow relationship building up from one point, one step to the next, to the next, to the next. And in the last 4 years, it took him 4 years to genuinely convince my heart that I am not only chosen, but I'm predestined to serve him in the way I serve him now, speaking these videos of edification to you men and women of God, okay? It took him 4 years to convince my heart and my soul that God chose me, okay? Because for way too long, I was asking the questions. I'm like, why me? Why would God choose me? I have so many faults. I come from a background of addiction, a background of being a drug dealer, right? A background from not even believing, like I believed in God, but I didn't pray any of that stuff. I didn't worship. I barely prayed. But when I was younger, my mom prayed with me every single night. And back then I just did it because she was doing it for me. I didn't really I wasn't invested in it. But for the last 3-4 years, God slowly, with his gentle, graceful hand, kept nudging me, nudging my spirit, showing me that he's real, okay? Showing me that he's real, and kept telling me, Troy, I chose you, okay? You didn't go through all that pain for nothing, okay? I was with you the whole time. Imagine the men and women of God watching this video right now, okay? You may have a hard time believing that God actually chose you, okay? But he did. The battles that you go through is clarification, is clarification. Depression is one strong, powerful stronghold, is a clarification that yes, you are going to overcome this, because glory be to thy God in heaven. The strongholds that me and you are dealing with, I'll be honest, almost all of them, okay? There's a couple I still got to work on. One of them is the addiction to nicotine. I'm still working on that. It's hard, okay? But I'm honest with you guys. I got rid of drinking, got rid of pharmakia. But the kind of person that God needs and wants to use is an honest heart. Somebody that didn't believe in themselves. But when he or she linked up with God and genuinely established a connection with Him, that's when He starts pouring into that vessel, when we're honest with Him. Because He knows our thoughts before we even have our thoughts, okay? I always say this, we're a receiver. We're a radio tower, and we can either input or output signals, okay? So if we're a radio tower and we're tuned in to the righteous frequency, we're going to get righteous thoughts. We're going to get intuitive impressions from the Heavenly Father. We're going to get angelic assistance, okay? I get these all the time, 24/7, 365, day and night, in this dimension and the next one, okay? My position in heaven is high because I'm dedicated, because my heart stayed open, even through the betrayal, the heartbreak, the addiction. God was still there because He uses those to draw you closer to Him. I know if you're somebody right now who is asking yourself, why would God use me? Why would He use such a corrupt and depraved mind like my own? I'm not saying this about you. I'm not. I'm just saying the thoughts that, for example, I used to have really bad, wicked thoughts about myself. Okay? I was really self-conscious about myself. I was like obese. I used to weigh 330 pounds. I didn't like the way I looked. I hated myself. Okay? I did. When I looked, until finally one day I had enough. And this was before I had a close connection with God. I had enough, and I said, I'm done. I'm sick and tired of hating myself. I want to love myself. So I did something about it. And that was just fleshly things. That wasn't nothing to do with the spirit. But once I started to notice a pattern when I was doing too much pharmakia, how bizarre my life turned upside down. How many demonic, evil voices I would be hearing because I'm inviting them in when I do pharmakia. But just like it says in Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him and who have been called according to His purpose. He works all things, not some things, all things. Now here's a good example of how He works all things, even the bad, to flip it into good. When I was doing drugs and pharmakia, I was being harassed by demonic entities, demonic legions all the time. I didn't hear the voice of God. For like 15 years, 20 years, I'd be hearing demonic frequencies because I was tuned into the wrong frequency, okay? I did lose my mind temporarily for a long time. But until I really got down to worshiping, fasting, and getting a relationship with our Father, that I start to hear a different voice, an authoritative voice, a loving voice, a voice that I'm like, I've never heard this before. This is real. This has to be what the voice of God sounds like. So I looked it up on the internet to back up what I was hearing, and sure enough, it was Him. It was Him. Now, finding out your purpose in this, okay? What I would tell anybody is when you're trying to find your purpose in serving God, for me, I used to deal with psychosis, okay? Hearing voices. I didn't trust anyone. I thought everyone was out to get me, okay? I completely lost my mind when I was on heavy pharmaceutical drugs for only 1 year, like when I first got it in 2007. I was on heavy pharmaceutical drugs, but I knew that was wrong. My spirit back then, even not having a connection to Yahuwah and Yahushua Mashiach and Mashiach, I knew back then it was wrong. And I'm like, I don't want to be a zombie for the rest of my life. So I ended up suffering for 15, 20 years, okay? Until the glory of God was revealed in me. Until I finally opened up my spirit purely to the Heavenly Father, Yahuwah. And then He poured into me. Because being open and easy with myself was easy for me. Being open and easy with people was easy for me. I just got taken advantage a lot. So already having that skill behind me and being open with everybody else and being open with myself. I was able to be open with the Father and keep my heart open, because Satan wants to make you like the rest of the world, to darken your heart, okay? He wants to darken your heart so you're like the rest of the world. And believe me, he tried and 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 he failed and he failed and he failed and he failed and he failed. And he's gonna keep trying. And he's gonna keep trying and testing you, men and women of God. I'm telling you this right now. If you're going through battles, that is a very good sign. That means if you turn it around and you tap into the frequency of the third heaven and you start hearing the small, subtle voice of our Heavenly Father, Yahuwah, you start hearing his voice, your whole entire paradigm is gonna change. Finding out your purpose, this is how you find out what your purpose is, okay? Once you tap into God, once you tap into the heavenly frequency, once you start hearing his voice, I guarantee you guys, if you stay committed to it, okay? Expect to hear his voice. It's really low, bassy. Sounds like he's speaking in an auditorium, like he's on a microphone. Really bassy, really low, okay? Depending on which side you'll hear it, the first time you'll hear it, you will not be able to ever replicate that feeling ever again, because it'll change your life, okay? Now, how you find your purpose. How you find your purpose is whatever broke you, okay? Whatever broke you. What broke me and my mind was the psychosis, was the not trusting anybody, was being disobedient to God, but God still used that. And he says, my child, from the world that broke you because you were involved in breaking yourself, Troy, from doing the drugs, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that, what the enemy thought was a disadvantage of me hearing voices, and I'm going to turn that frequency and allow you to hear my glorious voice, the Heavenly Father's voice. Now I hear him. Now I hear orders. And what he told me when recording this video is, I need you to speak on a special somebody out there. You, I know you're watching, okay? He says to you, my child, this is for you. I know Romans 8:28 is your favorite verse. I know it is. I know you're looking for your purpose. And you know what he and I say to you? I am so proud of you from how far you came. Because I know what it's like when you can't even believe the own thoughts in your mind. When you have a hopeful future thought and you're saying, what if I'm just imagining this? What if it's just me thinking this and I'm just imagining all of these beautiful, hopeful thoughts and it's not actually coming to fruition? He says to you, I'm declaring this, speaking for God right now. This is God speaking. My child, those are visions. Those are visions of the future. Okay? Those are visions of the future. And he wants you to get into the purpose that he gifted into your spirit. You have to be open with your heart. You have to be open with sharing it with other people. Sharing and being vulnerable, okay? Selectively vulnerable. Because I'm vulnerable to everyone. Nobody, even the enemy, Satan himself, can't harm me. He tried everything. The only thing he can do now is subtly manipulate me by trying to sound like the voice of God. But I figured it out already. I can feel it whenever he tries to sound like the Heavenly Father. I'm like, I can hear you. And today he was trying to sound like the voice of God. And I was kind of clowning him. And then he got mad at me and he used his regular demonic evil voice. And then he tried projecting like a red scary image into my mind. I'm like, I already seen all this, buds. Relax. And it's like, he doesn't scare me anymore, but he does serve a purpose. You know what his purpose is? Is issuing out sin when you disobey God, okay? So to you, who's trying to find out your purpose, when you submit to God, resist the devil, and flee. I feel what the Heavenly Father is telling me to tell you, that special child of God, the one watching this video right now. You, not only is he proud of you, he says it's fear. Fear is what's holding you back from gripping his breakthrough that is right at your doorstep, right there. This is the breakthrough right here. But fear is what you have to give up. Give up fear, okay? Because that vision that he gave you is not you thinking your own thoughts and having a storyline of you only coming up with all of these ideas in your head. No, these are visions from God. These are supernatural communications from the third heaven. It's called in the spirit, okay? When you get these visions and you're being spoken to in your mind, in the spirit, okay? It's not just you making it up. It's the Heavenly Father speaking to you. And the stronghold that you overcome by truly submitting to God is how you're going to find your purpose, because you're going to break the chains off of everyone else who you help. I love you guys very much. Have a good night. God bless you. I love you. Genuinely, I do.